Uh, these are words from the wise who knew workers and bosses. Understood before you took wins, you took losses. Hyundais and Mazdas before the Benz and Porsches. Learned you gotta play your hand, you can't forfeit. We think money, we don't think madness. We uplifting folks, we don't bring sadness. Heavy with the gems on the ring status. This is more than top shelf, this is king status.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome and welcome back. If this isn't your first time to the King Status Podcast, welcome back. Episode 51, season 2. We're back. I thank you. I appreciate all of y'all for the support that y'all have shown, that y'all have been with me all this time. And even through my little hiatus, y'all were still supportive. Y'all were still showing up for me. Y'all were still supporting and y'all were still subscribing. I thank you. I appreciate the love. I can't thank you enough. I thank you. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the King Status Podcast. I thank you, and follow us on all social media platforms at King Status Podcast. And I'm your host, Mr. More the King. If this is your first time, you could call me Marcus. My friends call me Millie, but you could call me King. But I thank y'all for tuning in. I want to apologize for the hiatus that King Status has taken and Morehouse Media, because I want to apologize because it was kind of like abrupt, and I didn't explain anything, and it was just so much going on with me. And you know, I'm the type of person, everything ain't for social media, everything ain't for the gram, and you know, I got to live my life like real life, just like the rest of us do. And I'm one of those, like, you know, I stick to real life because social media, you know, it's like an imaginary place sometimes. Like, everything isn't real. You don't know what to believe, especially with AI going on, everything. And then, you know, everybody shows their highlights and everything. And, you know, most of the time, all of us are going through real life things. And there are some things over time that I'm going to let out as the news drops. But I thank y'all for tuning back in and still being with me. And shout out to Primetime X Primo and Rocky Light on that intro, the new intro, the official intro to King Status Podcast. I know y'all was jamming to it. I know y'all like it. Appreciate y'all. But I want to get to it and just really talk about where I've been and where my mind has been lately. And you know, and this is just for the message of the day. I won't be here long right now. I mean, I'm not going to give a super long episode, you know. I just wanted to get back to it and let y'all know and just be there like the way I was before. And I'm a much better person now. And I feel like I've grown over these last few months that I've been gone. And it's more about, you know, when life gets to you, and sometimes our response to it and how we respond to when situations and life goes on, you know, life be life, and it's for like that, and it's like that for all of us. And you know, my age, I'm a millennial, so you know, we're the new adults, so we're getting used to the adulting part. So and it's all good, and thankful to my family, thankful to my wife, thankful to my friends, my close friends, thankful to God, Jesus Christ, everything. And it's really helped me on my journey. And it was just so much going on. I was still finding myself, and I feel like I still am. But one of the things I really had to hone back in on is getting back to who I was, and my identity, who I was and who I am. I mean, that's why in the beginning I reintroduced myself, but I also let it be known what my actual name, Marcus. You know, my nickname when my friends call me Millie, because you may hear other people, and shout out to Ed Buck. He calls me that all the time. Like, that's just my name to all, like, my close friends and my friends, and everybody back in Jersey put it that way. So and a lot of my audience doesn't know that, the King Status audience, they didn't know that. And I felt like because I will always try to step away, I thought being Millie was just the younger version of me, and Mr. Moore the King was the elevated version and the grown version of me. That's why I started with Mr. Moore, because that's what I'm called most of the time in life, like in a professional sense and everything. So, but I had to get back to a place of just what I love and who I am, what makes me me, what made me this person, how did I get to this place, who I was, like where I was, like, because I was just in a place of I wasn't really enjoying myself. I was letting other people's situations kind of take its toll and be a burden on my business in a sense, and then like in king status, and where I really shouldn't have, where, and some may understand because, you know, some of it had to deal with, you know, co-hosts and trying to get things going. I'm still taking care of my family and everything. So sometimes it was just on the creative level, I really lost motivation. Just to be transparent, I lost motivation, and it wasn't even like I just lost motivation for this. I didn't know what I wanted to do or who I was. And I felt like I was really struggling with that because I became such a family man. I became a partner in a way. I became, you know, just a man, a grown man. And again, there's no manual to this, but for someone like me who didn't really have the ways shown to me, it was even harder. So sometimes, like, I wasn't really shown or really ever had a place where I really could feel sure of myself. So I had to get back to doing things that made me me, even when I was young. So now I'm playing basketball consistently, at least every Monday now. I'm back to playing basketball, back to working out consistently, back to like just being in shape, back to just not feeling guilty about liking like certain things I like, and it's not like they're crazy things. It's just a matter of, you know, the way the world is. Just because I may love Jesus and I'm a follower of Christ and I may talk about God means I can't like hip hop or I can't be around hip hop. And that's just an example of everything. And some of the times it's even like just cussing. Sometimes it's like I felt like I kept trying to give this perfect image, or that's how it was coming off. And I was like, and I didn't want to come off like that, because I always say when you come off too clean and too perfect, oh, the second you do something that like you got a little stain on you to society, oh, they'll let you have it for the rest of your life with that. And one thing I'm not portraying or acting like or saying that I am is perfect, because nobody's perfect but God. And I definitely made mistakes. I definitely have done things that I wish I didn't do. I can't take it back. I may have done things to people that I regret doing that I wish I didn't do. But, you know, just being young and, you know, just out there and doing whatever. So, and I feel like, and king status was my way to give back in a lot of ways. My children's books, a way to give back to society, to really help and show people, hey, everything, just because you're in this place now, you don't have to continue being like that. You don't have to, just because you may have seen me do something, or somebody like an older brother or older cousin, someone that you may have seen that have done things similar to things I've done, whether it's treating women or treated life. That's not always the way. That's not the way. And there's better ways to go about it. And it's other things like, you know, it's okay to heal. It's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. It's okay to like a woman. Because, and I only threw that in being okay to like a woman, because some of these things I see some of these other podcasters do, and the way they bash women and all that, I don't live, the men I associate with and who I am, that's not who we are. And we take care, we have women we take care of, we have women we do respect, we get like, so it's not, and sometimes you get caught up in, you want to be with the crowd, so you feel like you have to do those type of things. And I haven't done it. I'm not saying I've done that as an adult, but even as a young man, you feel like that just to, because that's what society is, as far as the black community, definitely, that we do so much. And it's one of those, hey, it's nothing cool about that. It's nothing cool about that. And a lot of y'all will realize that when y'all have women to take care of, when y'all see your mother treated a certain way, when y'all have daughters, when y'all see your sisters treated a certain way, your nieces treated a certain way. So sometimes I just try to, well, now I just try to be the man that I need to be for myself, my family, and someone people can look to or feel like, hey, I don't have to do it that way just because I seen my family members do it this way. I can do it like him, Mr. Mortar King. I could do it like Rocky Light. I can do it like I can do it like Marquise Devon. I could do it like that. And it's nothing wrong with that, just being your own unique self. And I feel like that's what I had to get back to, like just not caring about what everybody else has going on. It's too much of the we're driving in our lane, but we're too busy looking at what people are doing in their lane, what he's doing in that lane, what she's doing in that lane, and not focusing on our road and what we should be paying attention to, what we have to do and where we're headed. And I felt like I was doing a lot of that. That's why I just went cold turkey, like off social media completely, because I was like, man, I have to get back to my reality and stop looking at what everybody else has going on. And I can admit that. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Like, yo, sometimes you do get caught up in people's highlights and you start thinking of yourself like, oh, I'm not doing enough because I'm this age. And there's one, I really had to sit back and realize, like, bro, look at the house you're living in. You got multiple cars. Like, and it's not about the material things. It's just literally like, you got love. You got people that support you. You have friends. You got friends that pray for you. And you have a family that you built. You have people you got to take care of. It's not, so you can't be thinking about what everybody else has going on and what's going on in their life. And you don't even know everything what's going on in their life. But we get caught up in the highlights. We get caught up in being down on ourselves and beating ourselves down, that we just we just let it get to us too much. And I can admit that a lot of times, and it's not just social media, it was just life. I was just letting it beat me down. And that was one of those things that I kept saying to myself, and I had to make a turnaround, because I would realize, I like watching other people say it too, like life is beating me down, like life is kicking my ass, life is doing all this. And I'm like, man, one day I really just had to think, like, and this is for you too, if somebody came and somebody walked up on you in the street, smacked the shit out of you and all that, your first response is defend yourself. You're going to sock them right back. And sometimes you got to look at life like that. And I feel like that's how I had to start looking at it. Like, yo, don't just if life punch you in the stomach, punch them in the mouth. Like, it's just like, just get back at it and don't just let life just stomp you out and beat you down and everything. And I know it's hard. I don't know what you're going through, and I pray that you get through it and everything is well for you, but we can't always let it, because our life still goes on. No matter what you're doing, the time is still going. Every second counts, every minute counts, and it keeps going. Time doesn't stop. You see, 2024 is almost over already. It feels like it just started. And I just had to really center myself with God. And that's the best thing that I could have done. And the best advice I could give somebody is like, center yourself, get that relationship back with God wholeheartedly, and really just understand no one's perfect. You're not going to be perfect. It's always going to be hardships. Excuse me. The enemy will always try to beat you down and always come after you. And sometimes it doesn't, in your friends, family, doesn't matter, doesn't on your job. And, people, your friends and family and people close to you, they're the enemy's greatest tool sometimes. They're the ones that they use that against you to beat you down. And one of the things I kept feeling is like, every time I feel like I get a step ahead, it's always someone or something trying to silence me. And that's where I started understanding, if somebody's trying to silence you, that means you have something to say, or you have something that's going to get out there that they know will change so much. It will change it'll change the dynamic of everything you do. It can bring the success. It can bring the lifestyle you want. It can bring healing. And sometimes, and those were the things I had to understand, even when people would come up and say like, "Hey man, what's up with the show? Like, we need to, like, you need to get back to that." And, you know, and people were enjoying it. Like I said, even when I'm not posting a thing, I haven't posted a thing. And even on social media, nothing. Most of them was doing was on Threads, just a thought or something. But we just have to sometimes just silence everybody else out and see what God is telling us, or understand what is going on. If somebody's trying to silence you, or something is trying to silence what you have going on, that means you must be headed on the right path, because the enemy does not want to see you succeed in it. And sometimes we just let it get to us so much, because it gets hard one time, or it gets hard and it's not easy. And you know, they always say, like, if it was easy, everyone would do it. If it was easy, it wouldn't mean nothing. If anything that's hard, that's worth having, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to go through it and be uncomfortable. And that's just where I've been the past few months. And I had to get back to love and understanding and realizing. And I want to be so transparent. The thing that changed everything, besides the getting back to who I was. That was a big piece, but God spoke to me. And I'm still naive when it comes to, because sometimes, you know, we get caught up in, is it God saying, or is it just my subconscious, or is it just I want this to happen and that I'm thinking it? But this is the second time in my life I really felt I knew it was God talking to me. And I feel, I say there's 2 times. This is the second time, but it's 2 times that I know for sure God spoke to me. And both times I was face, like, knees in prayer. Like, I'm just like, you know, face forward. And in the situation, shout out to Jimmy, Prophet James. I'm gonna get him on the show too. He was getting ordained, and, you know, family members, we go support. That's just what we do. We go support each other. So I call, like, he's a brunkle. Like, he's an uncle, but we're peers. Like, we're the same age. He's only like 3 years older than me. And when he was getting ordained, and, you know, I'm one of those, I've been prophesized over so many times, like, and it got to a point, I'm not just one of those, I'm gonna just shout with anything that just is said or anything. Like, you know, you see people, and, like, to the point, like, it got to points I'll duck off, and, like, just to not be noticed. And people, I'm talking different pastors, different bishops, everybody point me out and see me. So in this particular case, it happened again, and I'm Nike shorts, hoodie, like, just there supporting. I'm in the back too, like. And then they were talking about people getting, like, she was asking people to come up if anybody wanted to get saved, but I'm already saved and all that, so I'm just like, you know, just like, you know, just with the program. And then, you know, and then she called me up. She said, I just feel something on you. And then, you know, she asked me, what is there anything, like, in particular that I want to pray for? And I just said, you know, strength and wisdom, because that's one of those things, like, because we get caught up in just asking, like, you know, trying to ask God for money, and money don't always change things if you don't know how to use it. So it's like with anything in life and what everything that's going on, I just want strength and wisdom, strength to get through it when things get hard, wisdom to navigate the path and how to get there and do it properly. And they started praying for me. Like, she hit me with I know it's other things, but we'll pray for that since that's what you said. So, I got on my hands and knees. Like, I'm just like, if I'm like in the presence of God, the ultimate ruler, the leader of my life. And so, I don't mind being submissive. Like, and God is somebody we all should be submissive with, if anything. And then it was just in that moment when I started feeling like I just felt everybody praying for me. And then I just started feeling multiple hands. But it's like when the hands touched me, it's like it put me and God in one moment. Like, it's just like I really felt like everybody was gone. I just felt like a bunch of hands were like all over me, like pushing me up. And me and God in that moment. And in that moment, I literally was like, okay, God, because what was going, like, what I felt and what I felt like it was for, I just felt so much support. And it was like God was there. Well, God was there, definitely. And we had our moment where, he told me and made me feel it too. Like, you have the support. Go. Like, you have it. You have everything you need. You have what you need to do it. You have the support. Go. It is time. And after that moment, and then another moment happened I'm not going to speak on it, like right after that, but because I feel like I may share later on, but not today. I really felt after that, I was like, I hear you. And immediately got right back to King Status business. The intro was one of the first things that we got done. Vlog coming to. But in that moment, it was like God made me. He spoke to me, and I felt for certain. That's when I got for sure. That's when I made up my mind. It's time to get back to this because people support me. I have a voice. I am a leader. I'm a man. I'm a king. And I stand on that, and I'm here. I'm back, baby. And, pray for me. Things still get hard. Things still get tough. It's still a process. It's still going. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. But I'm here now. I'm back. And I thank y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for your support. And I'm here with you. If you need me, holla at me. If you want to do business, holla at me. Got the merch site up now. I got you could get merch now. You can also I got over my words. I'm gonna have some guests come up, and it's not gonna be the typical always. I'm definitely gonna still have my music artists and people I bang with, but I want to start having more people on here that can speak the gospel, who can speak from a generational perspective, people who can who are all real movers and shakers and that are doing things on the ground level for real people, women in business, men in business. I already have that planned out. I'm getting these interviews and people, these guests lined up, getting it started, and I can't wait till y'all see what we got going on and what's coming and what's building. And I'm still looking to build a team, and we're going to get through it, man. We're just going to get through it. And I thank y'all. I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for the support. Thank y'all for being with me. And, like I said, I wasn't going to be with you long because I just wanted to bring y'all up to speed a little and just let y'all know I'm in a better place. I'm ready to go. I know God is with me. I know I have support. And if you support me too, don't be ashamed to show it. Show me love, because I show love back, and I love y'all for that. And my name is Mr. More the King, Marcus Millie, and this is the King Status Podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I thank y'all. Tune in. Check y'all later.